USA Network presents College Football 83. Today, the Pitt Panthers meet the Tennessee Volunteers. USA's College Football 83 is brought to you by Mobile Detergent Gasoline. Mobile Detergent Gasoline for your everyday driving needs. And by Toyota, who reminds you that it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety. And by Levi's jeans, cords, and shirts for quality and style you can count on. Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Hillgrove along with John Steigerwald. The big game for both teams. Foge Fazio beginning his second year as the Pitt Panther mentor, coming off for what many Pitt fans consider a disappointing season of 9-3 and a loss in the Cotton Bowl to SMU. John Majors, meantime, opening up with the Tennessee Volunteer offense. It's directed well by Alan Cockrell. The Volunteers are coming off a bowl appearance and hope to use this game tonight as a springboard to a good season.
Yep, and it's always tough to figure out what to expect in an opening game, but what you can expect is that Tennessee's going to be trying to figure out what kind of defense they have, and Pitt's going to be trying to figure out what kind of offense they have, because Tennessee's only returning 2 people from last year's defense, but they have their whole offensive line back and their quarterback, although they are question marks there. They have some question marks there at receiver. Pitt, a brand new quarterback who's thrown 2 passes in his career, trying to replace Dan Marino, and plus some other important people have gone from their offense. So that'll be the key to figure out whether the inexperienced offense can take advantage of an inexperienced defense.
Panthers have been installed a slight favorite in this game, and that surprises some people because at Neyland Stadium tonight, a crowd of 91,000 plus will be here. Certainly a Tennessee partisan crowd, a very difficult situation for a young Pitt Panther football team. It should be a good one. We're glad you're aboard. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after these messages. This is USA's College Football 83. $95,824. They've already announced the official attendance here at Neyland Stadium. Bill Grove along with John Steigerwald, and the Volunteers do have a Pittsburgh connection. 2 of the tri-captains, Glenn Streno of Seton LaSalle, Kurt Singer of Hopewell High School, out on the field for the coin toss, which was won by the Volunteers. They will elect to receive, and the Panthers will kick it right to left. On the receiving team for the Volunteers, John Steigerwald, is a young man also from the Pittsburgh area, Mark Hogan, the junior from Pittsburgh's Brashear.
And we're going to find out early what Cockrell can do. Alan Cockrell, the Tennessee quarterback, can do against Pitt's defense. This is the biggest crowd I've ever been in, the 95,824, with the possible exception of one time when I had to go get a driver's license at the Motor Traffic Bureau, whatever it is.
Panther kickoff team is poised. Reggie Smith, Ray Weatherspoon, Tommy Flynn, Bill Callahan, Bill Sapio, Mark Rich, Darnell Stone, Billy Owens, Steve Apke, Mark Tinsley, and the kickoff man is Eric Schubert. The Panthers kicking off to the Volunteers. Pitt in this contest a slight favorite. A lot of people wondered why. Well, I think if you look at it objectively, it's strength into strength. Tennessee's strong offense playing into that Pitt strong defense. Meanwhile, the Pitt young offense will have to prove itself and prove it can handle the anti-cheering from this crowd, and certainly a Tennessee defense that's out to prove itself tonight. The referee is Ray Bauer, and we're underway as Schubert kicks it deep, ultra deep, and it is gone and out of the end zone. Randall Morris back there just watched it sail over his head. Tennessee will start their first drive, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. The quarterback for the Volunteers is junior Alan Cockrell. The tailback, Chuck Coleman. The fullback, Randall Morris. That's the backfield. The wide receivers are Lenny Taylor and Tim McGee. Jeff Smith is a tight end on one side, and up front it is Streno, Furness, Mayo, Knight, and Singer on the forward wall for the Tennessee Vols. Alan Cockrell, 59% completion rate in the last year, over 2,000 yards. A good leader, 6'2", 218. Cockrell with a fake. Pitch out to the right side. It is complete. With the football coming forward is Clyde Duncan, the senior from Oxon Hill, Maryland, and he's out over the 25-yard line to the 28. A good pickup of 8 yards, 2nd down to Al Wenglakowski making the stop for the Panthers. There's the Panther defensive line, a good one. Wenglakowski, Bukowski, Shilkin, Moss, and Sapio. Chris Dolman also seeing action. Aldershot and Benson, the linebackers. And that's the deep secondary. Tennessee with a 2nd down and 2 from its own 28. Cockrell with a long count. Bumps once and skips it in low, incomplete, intended on the near side. Again for the split end. This time it's Tim McGee. McGee from Cleveland, Ohio, a sophomore, and he's got some kind of speed.
Bill, both plays here so far, Tennessee is lined up with 3 wide receivers, no tight end, 2 men in the backfield. That's their favorite formation. Also, that was their favorite play last year. Those 2 quick look-in passes or hitch passes, whatever they are, to Willie Gault, who's no longer here. So they're trying with 2 pieces.
3rd and 2. The Vols have it, and more. Chuck Coleman, the tailback, got through a hole off the right side and got out to the 36-yard line for a pickup of 8 yards.
I think Tennessee, Johnny Majors came in expecting the blitz, and with the plays we've seen so far, the first 3 plays in this series, there was no way you were going to blitz because it was a 3-step drop and a quick pass and obviously a run. So they're going to try to negate the Pitt pressure.
1st and 10, Tennessee from its own 36-yard line. Split backs this time for the Vols. Cockrell, and the Panther defender makes a mistake. Clyde Duncan's got the first down and more into Pitt territory, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Tommy Flynn made the play, but Melvin Dean from his right cornerback spot came up and tried to intercept and made a big mistake, and the Vols took advantage.
Single coverage out there, and he went for the big play. A little early in the game to be doing that, and it cost him.
Tennessee with a big gob of yardage. 25-yard gain with a 1st and 10 at the Pitt 35-yard line. A big play for the Vols. Right side of the field, as you see, is to the right. Back to the short side on the handoff. Through a hole is Chuck Coleman. Tennessee comes out, so they move the football right down the field on the Panther defense. That play covered across the 30 into the 28-yard line.
Well, this is exactly what Coach Fazio did not want to happen. Obviously, he wanted Pitt to take control immediately defensively, and if they should drive right down here and score, that would not be to very much to Coach's liking here, because it's going to keep the crowd in the game. He wanted to take the crowd out early.
2nd down 3 for the Volunteers at the Pitt 28. This time, Randall Morris, the fullback, on the quick hitter off the right side. Inside the 20, 1st down to the Pitt 18-yard line. Randall Morris, not a big fullback, 183 pounds, but he got through the hole and he did it with that quick pop.
And that's the belly series there. Cockrell can also fake right there and keep rolling to his right, and that's what they like to do, that and the blast straight ahead. There's another angle. The handoff straight off right guard and a big hole.
Tennessee with a 1st and 10 at the Pitt 19-yard line after the 9-yard gain by Randall Morris for the 1st down. This time it's short yardage for Randall Morris as the Panthers closed it down. Getting in there, middle guard, Bob Shilkin, the sophomore from Mount Lebanon. Tom Flynn came up from the secondary to help plug the gap. It is a 1-yard gain to the 18-yard line. Morris out of the lineup at fullback for the Vols, and big Sam Henderson, 6'2", 245, is in there. He's a sophomore from South Bend, Indiana. 2nd down 9 at the 18-yard line for the Volunteers, who started this drive at their own 20-yard line. The pitch. Coleman with the football, penetrates the 15 and gets into about the 14-yard line. For middle guard, Bob Shilkin makes the pursuing tackle with help from linebacker Troy Benson. Benson, the youngster from Altoona, Pennsylvania, 6'2", 225 pounds. Coleman, pretty good stats. Johnny Jones, who was supposed to be injured now, and a tailback for Coleman. Jones, 5'10", 190 from Munford, Tennessee. Tennessee now. 3rd and 5. At the 14. Cockrell intercepted on the far side by Melvin Dean, and the Panthers have the football. The Panthers intercept the pass intended from Cockrell to Lenny Taylor. Melvin Dean, playing it perfectly, stepped in the way, and the Panthers play takeaway.
And Melvin Dean's the man who tried to make the big play and got burned earlier. Looked like just an overthrown pass by Cockrell. You never know. It could have been a poor route run by the receiver, but it was right to Dean. He just stayed in his position, playing zone back there.
It appeared to be zone coverage, I was about to say, John, and Melvin just sitting there waiting in his area, and the ball came. So the Panthers now keep the Vols off the scoreboard. 11:29 left of the first quarter. We have no score, and the Panthers start their first drive in relatively poor field position at the 17-yard line. John Cummings, the quarterback, to his tailback, who loses the football. Joe McCall, does he get it back? That's the question. And that is the indication that McCall is able to fall on the football. The Panthers cannot lay the egg on the carpet if they hope to win this ball game. Cummings, the quarterback. McCall, the tailback. A bigger Marlon McIntyre, the fullback. The wideouts, Collins to one side, Wallace to the other. Tight end is Clint Wilson. Forward wall, Frelick, Durundo, Sweeney, and Brown. Dahl did not make the trip to Knoxville, Tennessee. Darrell Clarkin at wideout for the Panthers now. This is Joe McCall. He gets to the 20-yard line. The Panthers have 7 yards to go for a first down. Good trip tackle. The right outside linebacker, Dave Scandritz of Kennesaw, Georgia, the volunteer right outside linebacker. There's the volunteer defense. The big man is Reggie White. Middle guard is Williams. The right tackle, Studaway. Linebackers, and they play a 3-4. Holt, Zander, Tolles, a converted fullback, and Scandrett, who just made that tackle. Sims, Brown, Kofor, and Davis. The secondary, 2 of those are freshmen. The Panthers now face a 3rd and 7. Not much of a hole, but here comes Marlon McIntyre. And he's still on his feet, but he's short of first down yardage by about a yard at the 25-yard line. Terry Brown, the freshman right cornerback, was the guy who made the sure hit to keep him shy of first down yardage.
Well, thought for a second there we might see Cummings throw his 3rd pass of his career, but they go for the draw. Good second effort by McIntyre, but the Tennessee defense knew where they had to stop him, and they stopped him about a yard short.
4th down and 2. The Panthers at their own 25-yard line, and punter Tony Recchia is in there. Recchia awaits the long snap from Tony Magnelli. The line of scrimmage is the 25-yard line. No score. 9:40 left of the first quarter. Deep to receive, Tim McGee for Tennessee. McGee comes up on the fair catch and makes it for the Vols. Good field position at their own 37. A marker is down back at the 42-yard line. And let's await the call from referee Ray Bauer. Ray Bauer of the Collegiate Major Football Independence Association. 3 of those officials working tonight's ball game, along with 3 from the Southeastern Conference. Ray Bauer says there's a holding call against Tennessee. There's a timeout in the action with a score of Pitt 0 and the Volunteers of Tennessee 0. Holding call against Tennessee. They're at their own 27 on first down. The pitch back to Coleman, the tailback, and he is smothered on the play by the Panther defense, spearheaded by Troy Benson, as they protect the flank very well. Gain is forward just shy of the 30 to the 29. Bring up second down and a long 8. We want to remind you that the announcers on this telecast are contracted and paid for by Total Communication Systems and WTAE. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or any other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the expressed written consent Total Communication Systems and WTAE is prohibited. Sam Henderson now in at fullback for the Vols as Cockrell barks away. Alan Cockrell to his tailback. Second man through. Still on his feet is Chuck Coleman. And a marker comes down.
It might be a late hit or a face mask.
Troy Benson made the stop. We have 2 markers down, so apparently 2 of the officials saw the same infraction. Benson, along with Tom Flynn, making the stop for the Panthers. Defensively, no score, 8:46 left of quarter number 1 here at Neyland Stadium. Crowd, unbelievably, 95,824. And you can tell by the reaction, it is a penalty against the Pittsburgh Panthers. A face mask penalty as marched off by Ray Bauer.
Well, that interception by Melvin Dean deep in Pitt territory, pretty big when you consider that Tennessee has Fuad Raviz, and that's an automatic field goal down in that territory. Here's the look at the penalty again.
Chuck Coleman. Somebody has a hold of his mask.
It's obvious that it is a face mask penalty there. It's hard to see who it was that did it.
Tennessee with a 1st and 10. Its own 38-yard line. Cockrell pumping. Overthrows his intended receiver Clyde Duncan, who earlier made a 25-yard gain that put Tennessee across the 50-yard line. This time, Cockrell simply overthrew him. He had gotten around cornerback Melvin Dean.
He was trying to suck Melvin Dean in again. He had gotten him earlier on the last series. Thought he might suck him in with a fake and then run the out and up. And Dean didn't go for it.
Second down, 10. Tennessee at its own 38-yard line. Cockrell, the quarterback. Morris now back in at fullback. Henderson out at 245. Morris in at 183. Cockrell wants a short pass and gets it to his back. Morris out of the backfield, but the Panthers are quickly on the play. Bob Bukowski there, along with Chris Dolman and Troy Benson. Panthers stop the gain out to the 39-yard line. A gain of 1. Third down, 9.
Tennessee's playing it awfully conservatively. They haven't done much except throw the short stuff and run the ball. Last year they had Galt as the deep threat. They don't have him this year. Just a simple little flip out of the flat there.
Third 9, play action by Cockrell. Almost intercepted by Troy Benson, the linebacker intended for Lenny Taylor. Tennessee will have its punt team on the field, and here comes Jimmy Colquitt. Some kind of thunderfoot for Mr. Colquitt. 47 yards a kick last year, almost 46.9. Nephew of Pittsburgh Steeler punter Craig Colquitt.
It's twice that Cockrell has thrown it right to the defender.
Panthers back with a double safety. Flynn to one side and Matt Daniels to the other. Jimmy Colquitt, who makes his home right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And he gets an end-over-ender. Flynn comes up. And he gets a block. Tommy Flynn had to get around one defender there and just got nailed as he tried to sidestep that defender at the 37-yard line. There's a timeout on the action. The score, Pitt 0 and Tennessee nothing. The Panthers try a sweep pickup 1. They try a straight ahead drive off the right side with their tailback Joe McCall, and he gets another 1 yard. So the Panthers now face basically a third down, and we'll call it a 7 situation at the Panther 40-yard line. Tolles, Williams, and Zander very active on that previous series. Tennessee goes to the nickel defense. John Cummings, the Panther quarterback, steps in, 3rd and 7. His own 40 in a scoreless first quarter ball game. The release pass to Tennessee is there. McCall trapped. Lucky to lean forward and buy back a couple of yards. He gets out to the 38. He lost 2 on the play. Cornerback Tommy Sims and right tackle Mark Studaway make the hit. And the Panther punt team is on the field. Scoreless game, 6:06, first quarter. And the crowd is alive at Neyland Stadium.
Tennessee's awfully young in the secondary, and sooner or later John Cummings and Pitt is they're going to have to start trying to explain.
Bombs one, John, and back to get it. McGee at his own 10, and he runs into resistance at the 15-yard line. The Panther punt team was down there. Good hit by Billy McCormick on the play, and the Panthers pin Tennessee back to their own 15-yard line where Cockrell will start a drive. Good hit by Tony Recchia. The line of scrimmage was a Pitt 38-yard line, and McGee pulled that punt in back at his own 10. So that's 12, 22, 32, 42. That was a 52-yard punt. The Tennessee Vols coming out with Alan Cockrell, the quarterback. Junior from Joplin, Missouri. He's showing the eye, slot right this time, wide slot. Cockrell with a straight ahead give to his fullback, Big Sam Henderson. Short yardage, the Panthers are there defensively. Panthers now, Tennessee penned up back at their own 18-yard line. It was a 3-yard gain for Henderson on first down, so Tennessee now faces a 2nd down 7 from its own 18-yard line. No score, 5:16 left first quarter. Bill Hillgrove and John Steigerwald here at Neyland Stadium with 95,000 plus, taking in the opener for both teams in '83. Again, inside slot right. Cockrell with a long count. Coleman, no running room. I mean, debris everywhere. A shoe came off, I believe. Coleman had nowhere to run. Callahan from his strong safety spot. The sophomore from Valley High School for the Panthers made the hit, did the good job on contain, and stopped the ball carrier basically at the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down and 7, no gain.
Al Wendlikowski did a good job of turning that play in on his left defensive end spot there.
2 fullbacks in now for the Vols. 3rd down, 7 at their own 18, both Morris and Henderson as Coleman comes to the sideline.
Watch the draw.
Tennessee doesn't like what's happening, and Cockrell, veteran quarterback that he is, decides to call time. Tennessee has 2 left in the first half. There's a timeout in the action. 4:17 left first quarter, no score. You wonder what it was that bothered Alan Cockrell as he looked over the line of scrimmage. The Panthers apparently in the very right defense as far as Pitt was concerned, the very wrong one for Tennessee. Also, I had the feeling, John, and maybe you share that feeling, something seemed to go wrong. Maybe somebody was out of place for the Volunteers in that formation.
Yeah, they looked like they were about ready to go into some kind of a shift out of that split back. Normally with 2 backs split behind them, behind the quarterback, they almost always throw or draw out of that formation. That's been their tendency, at least according to Pitt scouting reports.
Well, on the opening drive, the Vols made it look easy. Started at their own 20, got an 8-yard pass play to Duncan, and Duncan a 25-yard pass play. Then interception by Melvin Dean shut it down, and the Panther offense just can't get on track. Laren Brown, a freshman split end, is out to the right side for Tennessee. The Vols facing a 3rd and 7 at their own 18. McGee to one side to split end, Brown to the other. Tennessee 3rd and 7. From the 18, Cockrell. He's going to go deep. And off the fingertips of a man who had gotten around cornerback Troy Hill, and that is Laren Brown, a freshman speedster from Dayton, Ohio, 5'11", 170. And the pass was close enough to be catchable, but it was just off his fingertips. It was almost a great play for Tennessee.
Incomplete.
4th down and 7 now, and Jimmy Colquitt for the 2nd time is on for the Vols. The Panthers have 3 men back. Tommy Flynn is in the center. Matt Daniels to one side. Kick center for Tennessee. The long snapper is Joe Farmer. Colquitt awaits the snap. Shanks it. Bad punt. It goes out of bounds over the Tennessee bench at the 35-yard line. 34, 33, 33-yard line of the Vols. That punt carried 15 yards net, and the Panthers will benefit from the field position.
And it was supposed to be Tennessee with a big kicking game advantage, and Colquitt, a little bit of a problem there.
4 minutes, 3 seconds left of the first quarter. The Panthers, after a 15-yard punt by Jimmy Colquitt, have it 1st and 10. The Tennessee 33-yard line.
And Reckia's good punt in the first place put Tennessee back where they were in poor field position punting out of there.
Jim Sweeney, the Panthers center, is out over the football. Cummings, short pocket pass. Dwight Collins, shake and bake, nowhere to go. Good move by the defender. Tommy Sims came up and wrapped Collins up and got him for a short gain of 3 yards to about the 30-yard line.
Just a quick 3-step drop and out to Collins. And you hope that he can get away from his man, which he tries to do there with some moves, but doesn't do it. And still Cummings has not really tried to test those 2 sophomores and 2 freshmen back there in the secondary.
Panthers up front, Sweeney the center, Durando and Brown the guards, Freilich and Brown the tackles. Motion by Darrell Clark, the reverse motion. They're going to tuck it, and Cummings just does get there. Almost getting the football for Tennessee was Ricky Holt, the left outside linebacker, but Cummings had a step on him. Fortunately for the Panthers' cause, he fell on it at the 32-yard line. A loss of 2. It's 3rd down 9.
Obviously, Pitt is having some problems offensively. A couple of times they've bobbled or fumbled snaps. First series, they had a bad handoff. Those are the kind of things you kind of expect in a first game, but you can't have them here.
3rd down 9. Tennessee to the nickel defense. 5 defensive backs. Cummings, good protection. Safety valve. Joe McCall, he'll be stopped short of the sticks, but barely, by Tommy Sims, who makes another fine defensive play. Coming up from his cornerback position for the Tennessee Vols. Let's see where they spot it. It appears to be short. About a yard.
Cummings does a good job here of looking upfield and then coming back to Marlon McIntyre swinging out here. He's wide open short, but he falls short of the first down by about a yard. There's another look from the end zone. See him look to one side and look downfield. He's probably looking for a primary receiver there, and this is a safety valve.
The Panthers going for it on 4th and 1 at the Tennessee 24. The crowd is in an uproar. Cummings. And the play is stopped. A helmet comes off. And Tennessee's defense rises to the occasion.
First of all, it's an interesting play selection because that is well within Mark Schubert's range. They could have gone for 3, but they thought they could get the 1 yard. And that handoff did not look all that smooth. Let's look at it again. It's like Cummings took one step to his right and was a little bit away from the ball carrier and had trouble getting back to him with the handoff.
2:02 left of the scoreless first quarter. Tennessee's defense makes the big stop as the Panthers went for it on 4th and 1, and it's 1st and 10. Balls at their own 25-yard line. Cockrell on the handoff straight up the middle is Sam Henderson. He finds a hole and gets about 5 or possibly 6 yards to the 31.
It's either good hitting or bad equipment. I don't know which, but there's a lot of equipment being scattered around here on every play. I got a feeling it's pretty hard hitting.
Maybe the equipment has opening game jitters as well. Scoreless ball game, 1:40 left of the first half. Henderson at 245 pounds is a strong young man, as you might imagine. Picks up 6 to the 31. 2nd down and 4. No score yet. Again a hole for Henderson. And again he piles up good yardage and gets close to first down territory. If indeed he didn't make it. Let's see where they spot it. Alderson and Benson made the stop, but the hole was there, and so is the first down. 1st and 10, Tennessee at its own 35-yard line. Two straight times, Steve Henderson carries for 6 yards and a crack. Now Henderson stays in the ball game, and Randall Morris goes out, so they go to the tailback look with Coleman back in, dotting the I. No score, 1:06, first quarter. Coleman, no hole that time. What a play for the Panthers out on that right side for Bill Moss. Number 71, the 6'4", 265-pound senior, had help there from Caesar Aldersert, the 6'4", 215-pound junior linebacker from Mount Lebanon. The ball is to the 36-yard line, no gain. 2nd down, 10. Randall Morris back in at fullback. Henderson is out. To the backfield for the Vols. Looks like Cockrell, the quarterback. Morris and Coleman behind him. And the wideouts are Taylor, McGee, and Duncan. No tight end. 3 wideouts. 2nd and 10, Tennessee. Draw play to Coleman, and Coleman is wrapped up very quickly as he gets to about the 38-yard line. Making the Panthers' defensive play is Caesar Aldersert, his 2nd consecutive fine defensive play. But watch the hole open up.
You can see it's a draw. A lot of times when they line up with the split backs with the fullback on that side, it's going to be a draw to the tailback.
3rd down, 7. This may be, we may have seen the last play of the first quarter. Indeed, we have. Clock expires. That's the end of the first quarter at Neyland Stadium with the score, the Panthers nothing and the Tennessee Vols nothing. We'll be right back after this. Tennessee going the other way now as we start the second quarter. No score. The Vols 3rd and 7 at their own 38-yard line. Cockrell, Statue of Liberty. Coleman with a blocker. He gets the first down, and he crosses midfield to the Pitt 43-yard line. The Statue of Liberty play, and the Vols pull it off, and pull it off perfectly.
Should have known something was up because a tight end was actually in on that play. They don't like to use the tight end very often. Got everybody going one way and came back the other way with Coleman. And he just breaks outside, has lots of running room here. Gets some good blocking up ahead of him.
It's a 19-yard gain for the Vols. Statue of Liberty gives them a 1st and 10 at the Pitt 43-yard line. The 2nd time that Tennessee has been in Pitt territory. They give us to the fullback, and he's got a big hole. Sam Henderson still on his feet and cuts up as he gets to the Pitt 20-yard line. He still picks up 23 yards, but he almost broke it all the way. Finally tripping him up back there.
His own man tripped him up.
He kind of tripped up over his own man. Let's take a look at it.
I believe it's Tim McGee who finally trips Henderson up. Now remember, he weighs 245 pounds and he's rolling. There you see he trips over McGee, who was trying to put a block back there on somebody. And that's a big play. Pitt, Bill, still has not been able to even think about the blitz. They haven't given them any opportunity. Cockrell hasn't spent any time back there looking.
Tennessee offensive line is opening up holes, no doubt about it. 1st and 10 for the Vols at the 20. And again, a hole opens up, and Henderson has it pinched down, but he gets about 5 yards to the 15-yard line, where middle guard Bob Shilkin makes the play for the Panthers. Tennessee's got good rushing yardage in the first half, no doubt about it, and a lot of it belongs to Henderson.
Here you see the first quarter stats, Bill. Not much to tell by that, other than a big difference in total yards, but nobody really threatened to score except before the interception by Dean.
Tennessee into the eye, off the shift. Backside blitz, intercepted. Here comes the Panthers with the football.
Troy Benson, I believe.
Troy Benson was perfectly positioned, and he, as I believe Dolman came from the backside and got the quarterback, and Benson just was the beneficiary of the errant aerial. Now let's see who comes backside here. And I mean, he comes roaring in there. Chris Dolman makes the hit, and there's a wounded duck that Benson fields easily. The Panthers' second interception of the night. Pitt comes up with a football, 1st and 10 at its own 15-yard line. 13:27 left, second quarter. No score yet. The Panthers with a straight-ahead plunge. Johnny Williams made the tackle that time for the Volunteers of Tennessee, as going straight ahead with a football into that pile was Marlon McIntyre.
If you take away the big pass play that Tennessee pulled off when Melvin Dean was caught trying to make the big play, and everything's pretty even here offensively. Nobody's done much of anything.
2nd down, 7. The Panthers at their own 18. No score, 12:56. The clock turns second quarter. Panthers with a misdirection play, but the Vols aren't fooled. Joe McCall tried that left side after the fake to Marlon McIntyre, and nothing was there. A defender was there. His name is Steve Douglas, left tackle, a freshman. And he made a big defensive play for a loss back to the original line of scrimmage, the 15, so it's 3rd down and 10.
You may have noticed, Bill, I think that Bill Freilich is lined up on the right side. Right tackle now.
Indeed, you have noticed that, John. Freilich is the right tackle in place of Tony Brown. Christie is the left tackle for the Panthers offensively. Motion by McCall on 3rd and 10 coming. Intercepted by the Tennessee Volunteer on the far sideline. They say nope. He had straddled the line. Terry Brown had the ball, but 1 foot, they say, was across the line. It'll be 4th and 10, and Recchia, the Panther punter, is on. Remember, the line of scrimmage is a 15. Terry Brown with a fine play that time, but unfortunately for the Volunteers, one of his feet were OB. Tim McGee is the deep return man. Recchia, the Panther punter. No score, 12:06 second quarter. The clock having stopped on the incomplete effort. Recchia hits another good one. McGee back a couple of steps to his own 36. A hole. It closes quickly, and he gets back to the 45-yard line. There's a timeout in the action. In the second quarter, we have a scoreless game between Pitt and Tennessee. We'll be back. Tennessee with excellent field position despite a 49-yard punt by Tony Recchia, but right now the field position in favor of the Vols. Randall Morris, the fullback, tries straight ahead and gets 2 yards. They'll be 2nd down and 8. Tennessee at their own 47-yard line. Caesar Aldersert made the stop for the Panthers defensively. I do apologize if we do miss a play or two occasionally, but the University of Tennessee would not agree to TV timeouts tonight. This time Coleman has a man on his back, but he rides him out to the 50-yard line for 3 yards, 3rd down and 5. The Panther defender this time around again is Troy Benson, who's having a fine evening. Help from Al Wayne Lukowski. Wing Lukowski, a senior from Franklin, Ohio. Bob Bukowski, a sophomore at the left tackle spot from Gateway High School. Middle guard is Bob Shilkin. The right tackle, All-America candidate Bill Moss. And right now, Chris Dolman is playing the right end. He made a big defensive play for the Panthers just a few minutes ago. Ball at the 50. Third down and 5 for Tennessee. No score, 10:48 second quarter. Draw play. Short yardage. Trying to get through a hole there is Chuck Coleman, and he had to submarine. Got into the Pitt 48-yard line where Bob Shilkin rode him down. And the Tennessee punt team is on the field, and Tom Flynn goes back deep to receive for the Panthers. 10:30 left second quarter. We still have no score.
Said it earlier, Bill, when they line up with back split on a third and medium or long, they very often go to the draw, and I think Pitt knew it there.
Line of scrimmage, the Pitt 48-yard line. 4th and 3. Colquitt takes his time and aims one for the Coffin corner. Flynn lets it bounce. It goes out outside the 10 at the 12-yard line, but still a good punting effort for Jimmy Colquitt has the Panthers backed up. Once again, the burden shifts to the Panther offense. The Panthers starting 1st and 10 at their own 12. Try the left side. Joe McCall has nowhere to go. A terrific hit by freshman cornerback Terry Brown coming up in run support.
Big hit here, and in order to take the pressure off Cummings, Pitt has to get a running game going, and they're not being able to do it because Tennessee is really pursuing well.
The Tennessee defense came to play tonight. At least they've shown it so far. A loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down 11. The Panthers from their 11-yard line. No score. 9:30 left second quarter. Cummings rolling. Cummings takes a hard hit as he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 12. Right inside linebacker Alvin Tolles was there to greet him. 3rd down and 10.
Tolles is an old fullback. Used to be fullback, I should say. He's not old, but they tell me around here that he's probably the best linebacker on the team, and this is his first year playing that position.
He became weary of getting hit and decided to put a few hits on some other folks. Bob Bukowski from Gateway High School, right next to Bill Moss. Panthers 3rd and 10 from their own 12-yard line. 8:50, second quarter scoreless game. Panthers shifting to the eye. Cummings doesn't like it. The Panthers will take a penalty here. Delay of game. That'll be 5 yards back to the 7-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 15.
Well, what do you do here with a young quarterback like Cummings? Do you play conservatively and hope Recchia can get another good kick away? Or do you go after the 15 and risk getting caught in their end zone, possibly?
Bill Fralick is at right tackle offensively for Pitt. Nickel defense for Tennessee on 3rd and 15. Pitt backed up to its own 7. Panthers on the draw play, but Tennessee is not fooled. The Panthers pie about 3 yards back to Marlon McIntyre. And so the Panther punt team is on the field, and again the crowd is inspired at Neyland Stadium.
Well, they should be. Their defense has played well. Pitt has been able to do nothing, absolutely nothing offensively. And if not for some turnovers and some good punting by the guy who's about to punt right here, Tony Recchia, Pitt would be in big trouble.
Let's see if Tennessee decides to go after Recchia with 10 men up. Now they have 8 men up on the line of scrimmage. They haven't really tried to bother him so far. From his end zone, he barely gets it away. I mean, just barely, but it's a good one. McGee is back from his own 43. And he tries to spin and loses his footing and goes down. The Panther coverage was there, but Tennessee has good field position. No score, second quarter. 7:40 remaining. The ball belongs to the Volunteers. Cockrell with a completion into Pitt territory at the 47, grabbing the football with a nice catch. Fullback Randall Morris circling out of the backfield. Cockrell didn't exactly deliver the mail exactly where Morris wanted it, but he somehow managed to hold on to it, and it's a good gain for the Vols across midfield to the Panther 47-yard line. Call it a gain of 6. Jeff Smith, the tight end, is into the Tennessee lineup. On second down, we'll call it 4 at the Pitt 47-yard line. Oh, the Panther defense was there on Chuck Coleman that time. Bill Moss just diagnosed the play perfectly, and Coleman just got hit as soon as he got the football. Wenglakowski pinched it down just as well.
A big hit just on the toss here. And it looks like Moss read that fairly well.
Moss high and Wenglakowski low. And the sandwich play loses 2 back to the 49 of Tennessee, so it's 3rd down and 6 for the Vols. No score. Clock turns, 6:35, second quarter. Cockrell. Time. Hits his man for the first down at the Pitt 41-yard line. Jeff Smith, the tight end, got open. Cockrell had time, and when everything downfield had been closed down, when Smith popped open, Cockrell hit him very well.
They don't very often throw to the tight end, mainly because the tight end isn't in there very often. Cockrell looks downfield for somebody else, and Smith was wide open out there.
It's a great pass off the wrong foot. But Cockrell can do those things. Al Wenglakowski made the hit across the way. That knocked the ball out at the 40, but it's still a Tennessee 1st and 10. After the 9-yard gain on the pass play, Cockrell to Smith.
Saw the difference there in first down.
Fullback through a hole. And that is Sam Henderson. And again, the line up front for Tennessee, center Glenn Streno of Seton LaSalle, guards Furness and Mayo, the tackles Knight of Abington, Virginia, and Kurt Singer of Hopewell High, opening holes and allowing the Tennessee backs a little room to run. That time, the gain was about 6 yards to the 34-yard line, where freshman tackle Lorenzo Freeman made the stop for Pitt with help from Troy Benson. Second down, 4. Tennessee, Pitt territory with Henderson on the carry. Short yardage. He got maybe 1 that time. They're going to give him 2 down to the 32-yard line. 3rd down and 2. No score. 5:38. Clock turns, second quarter.
One of the quickest first halves I've seen in a long time. It's only 45 minutes into the game, and there's only 5 minutes left in the first half. That tells you something about what kind of offense we've been seeing.
Well, the Panther offense has been held to no first down so far. 2 fullbacks for Tennessee. And the give is to Morris, and he does not make it. He had little running room off that right side. Troy Benson closed the gap for the Panthers. Bukowski was there. And so was Bukowski and Benson, the 2 Bs for the Panthers.
Strange call there, I would say. Not necessarily a strange call, but they line up with everybody spread wide. No tight end against 3 wide receivers, and run the blast with the fullback leading the tailback through. Now it's a 49-yard field goal attempt.
Fouad Revez, and he's got great range. Jack Sells to hold. The 49-yard attempt, right angle to the left. The sidewinder gets it up. Gets it on its way. And puts it through. 49-yard field goal by Fouad Revez. And Tennessee is on the board. 4:29 left second quarter. There's a timeout in the action. The score, Tennessee 3 and the Panthers nothing. So after an exchange of punts where the Tennessee defense really came on and had the Panthers backed up around their own 10-yard line, just wouldn't budge, Tony Recchia kicked a pretty good 45-yard punt for the Panthers. The Tennessee used good field position, made 1 first down on a pass play Cockrell to Smith, the tight end, and then went down and was stopped, and so they just decided to pull out one of their big weapons, Fouad Revez. 27 out of 31 last year, 8 out of 10 outside the 50-yard line range. This time he hits from 49 and puts the Vols on top, and he'll kick it away. He's from Miami, Florida. He was born in Bogota, Colombia, which is in South America.
He was 21 for 25 last year outside the 30. It's not bad.
Tennessee's kicking game, a very strong one. Panthers trying to take advantage of a shank punt by Jimmy Colquitt. Could not move it because the Tennessee defense has been strong. 3-0. The Vols lead on the 49-yard field goal, and Revés tees it up at his own 40-yard line. We have 4:29 left of the second quarter. Bill Hillgrove and John Steigerwald at Neyland Stadium, along with 95,824. How can you count that many people? Knuckleball by Revés, and the Panthers take it out of the end zone. It's a touchback, 1st and 10. The Panthers at their own 20-yard line. Darnell Stone went back and fielded that over the shoulder, but he really didn't have to because it was well on its way to going across that end line. Almost went across the boundary on the side, but it was well within the field of play and over the end line if Stone decides to leave it alone, which he did not. 1st and 10. The Panthers trailing 3-0 at their own 20-yard line. And again, the Panther offense will try to move the football against what so far has been a spirited defensive effort for the Tennessee ball. John Cummings, the junior quarterback. Play action fake. Has some time. Lets it go, but overthrows his target on the far side. That is Joe McCall out of the Panther backfield. Running along the 25-yard line. That's Clint Wilson, the tight end, running along the 25-yard line, but the ball was overthrown. It's 2nd down 10. Stops the clock at 4:24 left second quarter. Number of plays, 7 plays for the Vols. 53 yards kept by the 49-yard field goal by Revés. And that's the difference so far. It's a 49-yarder. 3-0 Tennessee. 2nd and 10 for the Panthers. Got to get on track. Cummings in some trouble, and down he goes for a loss back to the 15, Reggie White. Third down and 15. The All-America senior for Tennessee fought the block, and then when Cummings tried to ad-lib out of there, down he went.
Cummings is obviously having problems, but I don't think this play was his fault. Tennessee did a good job of covering the receivers. He had nobody open and really nowhere to run. He was pretty well boxed in.
Got to call that a sack by Reggie White because Cummings obviously was looking to pass, and the fact that he had tried to run in his own backfield, still a 5-yard loss. 3rd down 15. 3-0 Tennessee. 3:39 left second quarter. Penetration. Cummings dumps it and gets it to his tailback. And that is Joe McCall. And McCall is quickly hit by Tommy Sims. And the Tennessee defense is strong. No mistake about it.
Well, he made something out of nothing there. It could have been worse for Pitt, but more defensive pressure by Tennessee. And Cummings had no chance. And the crowd is getting fired up here.
Well, the Tennessee defense has given them a reason to get fired up. They've shut down the inside plays, they've shut down the sweeps, and they've done a pretty good job with pass defense. Tony Recchi in confirmation, gets the low step, gets a good kick away. McGee wanders and signals for the fair catch and has trouble diving for it at the 47-yard line. But I believe he pulled it in, and he did. Tennessee again with good field position. 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. McGee signaled for the fair catch. When Recchi's punt, it looked like it was going to travel farther than it did, but then it started to nose down, and McGee just got there.
We got some wind here, Bill, up high at least. The flags around the stadium are really ripping into the face of Recchi there.
Hard to tell what it's doing on the surface, the super turf surface at Neyland Stadium. Cockrell with a fake, dumps it off, and dropping it is fullback Sam Henderson. Henderson dropping Cockrell's pass as Cockrell ran to his left. 1st and 10 from the 47. Incompletion will make it 2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line. Tennessee with good field position and a 3-0 lead. 2:43 left of the second quarter. The Panthers defensively: Shilkin, Moss, Bukowski, Dolman, and Wenglikowski up front. Benson and Aldersert, the linebackers. The corners are Dean and Hill. And the strong safety Callahan, the free safety Tom Flynn. Tight end Jeff Smith is back in the ballgame for Tennessee. 2nd and 10 from their own 47. Little shovel pass, and it's complete. Coleman breaks a tackle, and he gets the first down into Pitt territory inside the 40-yard line. It looked like the Panthers were going to shut that play down, but somehow Coleman got loose on the shovel pass.
Just came from the slot over there on the right, ran along the line, and just got the underhanded pass, shovel pass. And if he doesn't trip right there, it's probably gone.
Big gainer for Tennessee from their own 47 down to the Pitt 39-yard line. 14-yard gain. Cockrell down to one knee to receive it, losing the football, but he was down when he caught it. And that is Clyde Duncan on the far side at the Pitt 35-yard line, a gain of 4 yards. The official wisely signaling that Duncan was down when he caught it. Knee down. You can't get up and go with it, unlike professional football.
Doing exactly what Pitt thought they would do, and that is quick drops, hitch passes, dumping it out to the backs, and trying to run it at him.
Cockrell splits them this time. His fullbacks Morris and Henderson behind him. Second down 6. Tennessee at the Pitt 35-yard line and getting closer now to revised range. Pass is just miserably thrown by Cockrell that time, intended for Clyde Duncan, but he just threw it right into the super turf. Marker down at the 35-yard line.
Like the same play, just to the other side.
Let's see what the infraction is. Offside, Pitt. A break for Tennessee. Somebody jumped ahead of the snap and got in across the line of scrimmage.
Only a minute and 37 left in this half, and it's possible that this half could be over. Kickoff wasn't really till a few minutes after 7:30, so it could be that this half will be over in just about an hour.
Moving right along. 5-yard penalty assessed to Panthers for offsides. They'll move it to the 30 and set up a second down and 1 for Tennessee at the Pitt 30-yard line.
A good spot for one of Johnny Major's razzle-dazzle plays, which he's known for.
Well, we just saw one a moment ago, that shovel pass, which almost got clipped at the line of scrimmage. It wasn't really a perfect effort, and Coleman had it on his hip for a while, but then all of a sudden he had some open field in front of him and took advantage of it. Second down and 1. Cockrell wants a big gainer, and it's too tall for everybody down there, intended for McGee. Troy Benson was back there, Tommy Flynn was back there, and so was cornerback Troy Hill, but it was too tall for everybody. But it's a play that Cockrell knew he could gamble on. Third down now and 1. Tennessee with a 3-0 lead at the Pitt 30-yard line. 1:32 left of the first half of play.
I wonder about gambling like that on that play. That's a play where I think I'd rather see my quarterback throw the ball into the seats unless the guy's wide open. He threw it right into the coverage now.
Let's see what he does on 3rd and 1. Everybody in tight. Obviously a power formation. And it is Morris diving for what appears to be the first down. It is. He's in across the 30 and more. And Tennessee gets the first down with a minute 28 remaining of the second quarter.
Here's a look at it, and it's just up and over the top for Morris. That's what you can do to stop that. They went down low, and he went over the top. Simple as that.
Needed 1. He got 3. 1st and 10 at the 27 for Tennessee. Cockrell calling the audible. Shifts him into the eye. Floater. Too long for the intended receiver down at the goal line who had broken open behind Melvin Dean, and that is Tim McGee. Post pattern. Cockrell just overthrew him. It's 2nd down and 10, and it stops the clock at 1:04.
One of the things, or the thing that Pitt defensive coordinator Bob Junko was most worried about, he feels that he's got enough talent, enough ability on his defense that he doesn't have to worry about them knowing how to play and tackling and covering. But he's worried about alignment and knowing how to line up against certain formations, and it's hard for us to tell whether or not they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Only he knows that, I guess.
2nd down 10. Tennessee at the Pitt 27. Minute 4 left of the second quarter. Draw play. Panthers this time have Henderson trapped. He's still on his feet and really bulldogs his way forward. Got in to about the original line of scrimmage. That's about all. He may have lost a half yard depending on where they stop it. Alan Wenglikowski bulldogged him down. Henderson, 245 pounds, and that's a real load to try to stop. Tennessee calls its second timeout of the first half. They have 1 remaining. 53 seconds left of the second quarter. Tennessee leading the Panthers 3-0 on a 49-yard field goal by Fawad Ravez, a very fine junior place kicker for the Vols. Panthers have come up with 2 interceptions in this game, or Tennessee may have been on the board a few more times. The Tennessee defense so far has really told the tale on the Panther offense, which just can't get untracked.
Just a nice little 45-yarder here. If Tennessee should try a pass and be incomplete, he'd only have a 45-yarder, which for him is a chip shot.
Second all-time meeting between these two schools. The first time was in 1980, and that's when the Panthers came down and, led by Rick Tricano, defeated the Volunteers 30-6. Remember that day, the crowd got real quiet. Tonight, they're rather animated and enjoying what they see so far. Tennessee leading 3-0. 53 seconds left of the second quarter, and the Vols trying to put more points on the board. Third down, 10 to the 27-yard line. Cockrell, good mobility. Trap, down he goes, big sack, back to the 39-yard line. Coming from the backside, Chris Dolman. Chris Dolman finally got him.
Another interesting play here. You're in field goal range with 35 seconds or so left in the half, and your quarterback rolls out and gets caught back at the 40-yard line, and now Gervais wants to kick one at 60 yards.
Sack by Dolman is for 12 yards back to the 39. So Gervais on the field goal attempt will have to kick it almost 57 yards. And of course, he has already kicked a 60-yarder in his career, and that's the longest ever in the Southeastern Conference.
Got a wind at his back.
Second largest crowd, John, in this stadium's history, 95,824. And it's a big game for both clubs, as we have pointed out a couple of times before. The Panthers wanting to prove that they can play in this situation against not only a fine football team, but against a hostile crowd. Something they'll have to face at Maryland, at West Virginia, at Notre Dame.
And there's only one place where you can go in college football to find a bigger crowd, and that's Ann Arbor, Michigan, right?
That's right. This is the biggest stadium in the South at 95,000 tonight. Ann Arbor, University of Michigan, 104. Johnny Majors, and there's his record at Tennessee.
And 500 football is not exactly what they're looking for here in Tennessee, which Johnny at 35 and 32 is not that far above 500. They were looking for a little bit better than that when he came here, and it's tough to be in the Southeast Conference with teams like Alabama, Georgia. And he was 6-5-1 last year, but there's some games he could have won. I guess any team can say that, but he was not a bad 6-5-1 for such a thing.
14 seconds left of the half. Sell will hold. Gervais will try a 57-yard field goal. And from what we can tell up here, the wind seems to be at his back. Flags flying at half staff here at Neyland Stadium indicate the breeze right to left. Gervais. Is it deep enough? It hits the crossbar and drops straight down and is no good. You cannot come any closer and not get a field goal. What an effort by Gervais. The good break for the Panthers because it's still 3-0 Tennessee. Pitt has 8 seconds. The Panthers will not try to score any points this half, but certainly keeping Tennessee off the board was important for Coach Foch Fazio.
You can see how much leg he got into it, and probably one more turn of the ball and he would have had it. Watch the reaction.
He got that ball up high and gave it every opportunity to ride the breeze.
Here's the reaction. Watch Gervais. He thinks he has it.
Last year, Gervais 9 for 12 outside 50 yards. Panthers with 8 seconds left. Cummings will turn and give to his fullback. McIntyre through a hole, and that should do it for the first half as the clock winds down. That's the end of the first half of action here at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. The score, the Vols 3 and the Panthers nothing. We'll be right back after this. Coming into this 83 college football opener, the questions about the Tennessee defense were persistent. How good would it be? Well, the Tennessee Vols answered that in the first half. John Majors did a real whale of a coaching job in that first half as the Vols completely stymied the Pitt offense, took advantage of the fact that Pitt was coming in with a new quarterback, John Cummings, and they really dominated play. Pitt had no first downs in that first half.
And you should give some credit to the Pitt defense because Tennessee comes in with a fairly experienced offense except at wide receiver. They have their whole offensive line back, as we've been saying. Cockrell is back. Might be a good idea for Johnny Majors to open it up a little bit in the second half and take some chances because he should be pretty confident that Pitt's offense is not going to do much, so they can afford to turn over the ball or at least risk turning over the ball.
How many times you see a college football team have 0 first downs in the first half? That's exactly what you saw. Tennessee was everywhere, plugging all the holes, hitting very hard. Pitt only had 16 yards rushing. Now, John Cummings, a Pitt quarterback, completed 4 or 5 passes, but for 11 yards, that's pretty conservative.
And everybody with the Pitt program figures that John Cummings is going to get better as he goes along. That would include tonight. I mean, this is his first game that he's ever started, so you would think that he might come out in the second half figuring, well, I didn't do all that badly. I can do better, but at least I haven't thrown the game away, and I'm still alive, and the crowd hasn't gotten to me, so maybe he'll get a little bit better in the second half.
A little after midway through the second quarter, Tennessee drove to the Pitt 15, but Troy Benson, the Pitt linebacker, intercepted a pass, thwarted the drive, but it gave Tennessee good field position. And finally, 2 series later, Fouad Reveiz, a very fine place kicker, the All-America preseason place kicker, was able to hit a 49-yard field goal, and we were told coming in that Tennessee's kicking game would be a big factor, which Reveiz in the first half gave the game its only score, 3-0 Tennessee at halftime.
And Tony Recchia, the Pitt punter, had to take a back seat in the pregame talk to Jimmy Colquitt, who's everybody's All-American punter. He out-punted him in the first half, and he was Pitt's really best defensive player in the first half because he kept Tennessee in relatively poor field position most of the time.
Crowd of 95,000 plus, the second largest in the history of Tennessee football, really whooping it up in the first half as the Vols dominated and have the 3-0 halftime lead. We'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this. Schubert to kick it off. Randall Morris is the deep man for Tennessee. The Vols lead this contest 3-0, and the third quarter is now underway. Schubert line drive. Too powerful for anybody to handle back there, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vols at their own 20-yard line. Alan Cockrell, the junior quarterback from Joplin, Missouri, 6'2", 218 pounds. Completed 59.2% of his passes last season. For more than 2,000 yards, he had 12 touchdown passes. He was also intercepted 15 times. His long pass, 78 yards. That went to Willie Galt, who is long gone to the pros. Wide receivers for Cockrell, Duncan and Taylor. And the tight end, Jeff Smith, who had a big gainer in an earlier drive. That set up the field goal. Tennessee 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line. Single setback for Cockrell this time. Maybe Tennessee has to open it up a little bit. Nope. Single setback gets a handoff, and he bounces off a one tackler and gets extra yardage. Bob Shilkin had him wrapped. Then Englakowski had a bulldog him down as he got out past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Randall Morris looked like he was going to be stopped shorter than he really was.
Pitt won the toss at the opening of the game and decided to kick off. And you wonder how they ended up with their winds to the wind to their backs here in the third quarter when you would think you would want that in the fourth quarter.
Of course, it's new in college football this year that when you win that coin toss, you can option for either half. Again, single setback on 2nd and 7 for Tennessee. And that single setback, Sam Henderson gets it, but the Panthers close the hole down. 2-yard gain to the 25. Wenglakowski spearheaded the defensive charge. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Vols, who lead this contest 3-0. We're 50 seconds into the third quarter.
Wenglakowski's played an excellent game tonight. He's been everywhere. Shilkin, and then a lot of tackles.
Tennessee in that first half, 10 first downs. The Panther offense had 0, and that's why Tennessee has a 3-0 lead, which could be bigger. 3rd down, 5 for the Vols. Cocker with a hand in his face, misfires. Duncan had a chance. I think he got both hands on the ball, but it wasn't a work of art because good penetration by the Panthers' Bob Bukowski caused the pass to be less than a work of art. Bukowski, a sophomore from Gateway, 6'5", 255 for the Panthers. So on 4th and 5, Jimmy Colquitt is on for Tennessee to punt from the 25-yard line, the line of scrimmage.
Not a very good average for Colquitt. As a matter of fact, it's about 17 yards below his average. He shanked one, and also he tried to drop one inside the 10 and did earlier, so the average is a little bit misleading. He hasn't punted well until now.
He launches a rocket this time. Tommy Flynn signaling for the fair catch, takes it at the 30. It's a 45-yard punt with hang time of about 5 seconds. It was really a mortar shot for Jimmy Colquitt.
Not going to return that one.
45 yards.
Panthers start 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Cummings, quarterback.
John Cummings is still the Panther quarterback, but Kangemi is warming up in the bullpen just in case. Panthers starting at their own 30, trailing 3-0, 13:37 left of the third quarter. Marlon McIntyre, not much room. He gets 1, possibly 2 yards before running into the waiting arms of middle guard Johnny Williams of the Vols, senior from Knoxville, Tennessee, 6 feet even, 232. Call that a 1-yard gain, 2nd down, 9. Panthers at their own 31. Up front, Jim Sweeney is the Panther center. The right guard is Bob Brown. The right tackle is Tony Brown. Cummings. The ball was batted on a great defensive play coming in there on the charge for Tennessee. Cummings' pass was batted and went end over end, intended for the back coming out of the backfield. Now that was Darrell Clark coming to the near side, but right outside linebacker Dave Scandrett, the senior from Kennesaw, Georgia, made the big defensive play for the Vols, and it's third down.
Still waiting for Cummings to crank it up. Throw it over the middle.
Johnny Majors goes with a nickel defense. Pitt with a 3rd and 9 at its own 31, trailing 3-0. 13:04 left of the third quarter. Cummings with time. Gets the pass complete to Collins, but it's not enough for the first down. He gets out to the 36, and that's all. Alvin Tolles, right inside linebacker, made the defensive stop for the Tennessee Vols, and the crowd loves it.
Well, he did throw it over the middle to Dwight Collins, but Tennessee was giving him that pass all the way. You can have that all night when it's 3rd and long yardage.
5-yard gain. Cummings to Collins, and the Panthers still have come up short, come up empty on all first down efforts. They have 0 for the night. Line of scrimmage is the 36-yard line in Pitt territory. Recchia unattended, hits an end-over-end punt. Not a good one. McGee lets it bounce. Now it's going to turn into a great one. Downfield to down that ball at the 6-yard line for the Panthers on the punt team. Rolling around and getting the ball down at the 6-yard line was Bill Sapio. 3-0 Tennessee. Third quarter. We'll be right back. Tennessee starting from its own 6-yard line. Coleman on the punt. And that is a 58-yard punt for Tony Recchia. Coleman on the carry after the first down at the 6-yard line. 58-yard punt by Tony Recchia is a career high. And it looked like a bad one because he kicked it end over end, but when McGee let it bounce, it rolled some 25 yards.
A lot of times a punter, if he's a good punter, will kick it end over end because he knows he's going to get the bounce on that type of kick when he's got that kind of distance. You don't know whether he tried to do that or not.
Tennessee with a long 2nd and 6 at their own 10-yard line. After the timeout, Cockrell to his fullback Henderson. Not much of a hole. He leans forward for about 3 yards to the 13, where nose guard Dennis Attia of the Panthers makes the stop. 6'1", 240. Attia, a sophomore from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Gain is to the 13-yard line for the Vols. It brings up a 3rd down and about 3. The Vols lead this contest 3-0. 11-12 left of the third quarter. Duncan splits to the right, and out to the left side is flanker Lenny Taylor. For the Vols on 3rd and 3 at their own 13. Cockrell completes the pass. Duncan gets the first down out to the 19-yard line. Duncan, a senior from Oxon Hill, Maryland, just came back. The Panthers playing loose coverage allowed him to pick up the first down, the 6-yard gain.
Tough play to stop. You don't want to play him too loose, but you can't play him too tight because he'll burn you. But Troy Hill was playing way off there, and that's a play they've been using all night.
Tennessee with 11 first downs to the Panthers, none so far in the game. 10:45, turning clock, third quarter. High slot right this time for the Volunteers. 6-5-1 last year. Quick pop with a big football is Henderson, the big fullback, and he's on his way. And he shows speed, and he's still on his way, but he falls as he gets to the Pitt 41-yard line. Henderson from his own 19 all the way inside the Pitt 40 to the 39. 42-yard gain for big Sam Henderson.
First man through in a big hole off the right side. He's 245 pounds. And if Melvin Dean doesn't slow him up there, it's a touchdown.
He almost broke it, no doubt about it. And the big guy at 245 shows the speed. Tennessee 1st and 10 at the Pitt 39 after the big gainer by Henderson. Cockrell with an audible. Tried to slip it outside with Coleman on the carry, but nothing there. Dolman and Benson diagnosed the play very well. They bring him down after a short gain of about 1 yard to the 38-yard line, 2nd down 9. 3-0 Tennessee. We're at 9:50, third quarter. Ball's on top and trying to get more.
Getting to the point now, to the point in the game also where the Pitt defense has been spending a lot of time on the field, and the offense has to get something going. The Pitt offense in order to keep the Pitt, keep the Pitt defense off the field a little bit.
Second down 9 for the Volunteers. Slot left this time with the I-backs behind Cockrell. He's back to the weak side on the toss there. The effort, the pitch to Tim McGee, but it was behind him. Trying to come up from his left corner position, Troy Hill, to make the play, but it really didn't matter because the pass just misfired. It was not a real good pass as far as the intended receiver McGee was concerned. So it brings up 3rd down and 9 for Tennessee.
It's obvious Tennessee was concerned about pressure from Pitt because all night 2 3-step drops, quick passes. You might look for a pump and a go here one of these times too.
Duncan to one side, McGee to the other. On 3rd and 9, Cockrell having time, hits his tailback Coleman to about the 34-yard line, which is a 4-yard gain, and that won't be enough, so the field goal team is on, and Fuad Reveiz will try a long one here.
Well, I guess if you have a good kicker like Reveiz, you can be conservative like that, but that play didn't show me a whole lot for 3rd and that kind of yardage.
This will be a 51-yard field goal effort. Snapping Joel Farmer. Holding will be Jack Sells. 51-yard attempts for Reveiz, who's already kicked 149. This against the breeze. It's going to be short. Too much rotation on the ball. It's short by about 5 yards. It's halfway in the end zone. There's a timeout in the 3rd quarter action with a score Tennessee 3 and Pitt nothing. Big play, John, for Sam Henderson. 42-yard gain from his own 19 to the Pitt 39, and he looked like Tennessee was going to perhaps put some more points on the board, and Reveiz 51-yard field goal effort short. The breeze, I'm sure, held it up some, and he had too much rotation on the ball. Pitt 1st and 10. Cummings has the pass batted down. A Tennessee ball got in there. Reggie White apparently jumped up and smacked it down. 2nd down 10 for the Panthers. John Cummings, 1st and 10, starting from the Pitt 33-yard line. A pretty good field position start for the Panther drive. Reggie White got in there and knocked it down, and it's 2nd down and 10. Reggie White, a fine defensive player, 6'5", 264-pound All-America candidate from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Pitt came in with the idea they might move Bill Freilich over to that side to get White, but Freilich is now back on the left side.
On the line of scrimmage at 34. Cummings on 2nd and 10. Out of the backfield, McIntyre with a head of steam. And he is knocked out of bounds hard as he gets out to about the 44-yard line, very close to 1st down yardage, depending on where they spot it. Dave Scandretz and Terry Brown, the freshman cornerback, making the defensive play for Tennessee. It's probably inches short.
Well, they're still playing it conservatively. It was planned to come out here to McIntyre all the way. He was the primary receiver there. He didn't even look downfield, but it did get a good gain, and it's going to be 3rd and short.
Panthers bring 2 tight ends into the ball game. Clint Wilson and Dexter Edmonds. Also Dwight Collins comes in and goes out as a flanker. 3rd down and inches. Pitt at its own 43.5-yard line. And the give is in there to the tailback, and it looks like he might have fallen forward for the necessary yardage.
And if he did, it'll be the first down of the game for Pitt.
Joe McCall leaned forward and fell. Good body lean, but did he make it? That is the question. Timeout for the measurements. Official Ray Bauer, the referee, wants to take a closer look at it, so the chain gang will come in.
It's going to be close, but from here it looks like he has it, Bill.
We have a high vantage point at Neyland Stadium. This is probably one of the highest vantage points in college football. The only one I think that rivals it is Washington, University of Washington Husky. Husky Stadium is unbelievably high as well and gives you a good angle. We saw it well, John. It's a 1st down.
Yep, here's the replay. Joe McCall, he got tripped up in the backfield, but was able to give it another little bounce there and get the extra couple of feet he needed.
First down, and it happens at 8:13 of the 3rd quarter. I wouldn't have thought that coming into this game, but the Pitt offense would have that much trouble getting on track. Tennessee defense has had a lot to say about that. Cummings lets it fly. And there's Collins, and Collins has got it, and he's into the end zone. Dwight Collins, a 57-yard reception for the touchdown, and the Panthers lead the Volunteers. Free safety Charles Davis is the man who got burned.
Well, 1 first down and 1 touchdown. Now that's a straight drop and just let it rip. And you Figure that Dwight Collins, with his leaping ability, is going to out-jump the defender, but the ball just came down and the defender got turned around. Looked like Terry Brown back there got turned around on the play. The ball hung up there a little bit, and Collins just stayed right with it and it fell right into his arms.
Tennessee has 2 freshmen over there. Cornerback Terry Brown has played an outstanding game, and Charles Davis, the free safety, and I believe at that time it was Collins who ate Davis lunch. Extra point try by Eric Schubert. And Shooby-Doo says, hello, how do you do? And the Panthers lead it by a score of 7-3. Cummings to Collins. They're going to put it in the record books as a 56-yard touchdown pass. Pitt leads at 7-3, third quarter. Pitt leads at 7:58 left of the third quarter, and here comes Eric Schubert's kickoff with Randall Morris deep. He'll be able to field this one, but it's too deep for any comfort, so right down he goes for the touchback. And Tennessee will start 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. Dwight Collins receiving a touchdown bomb from John Cummings. He turned the free safety Davis around and got wide open, and Cummings put the ball there. 56 yards later, the Panthers lead the contest 7-3. Let's see if this gives the Pitt defense a lift. There's a scoring drive, 4 plays, 66 yards. Not much time consumed. 39 seconds. The Panther defense didn't get a big rest. The action fake Cockrell on 1st down. Morris out of the backfield. He's hit immediately, but he picks up good yardage to the 34. A 14-yard gain. And that should be a 1st down for Tennessee. It is. Cockrell to Morris. Dolman made the stop with Hill downfield.
Okay, Cockrell does a good job of faking here and then puts it on his hip. And he froze some people and then finds Morris open there out in the flat. 14-yard gain.
Nope, I had it wrong, John. I had the wrong yard line. I had him out at the 34. He was out at the 29. That's my mistake. It's a 9-yard gain. 2nd and 1. I misled you, and I apologize. Pretty good hit in there by Big Sam Bam Henderson. And he is muscled around, and ball pops loose, but the play was blown dead. Troy Benson with a whale of a hit, but it looks like Henderson had the 1st down made. No doubt about it.
Now let's see if Tennessee opens it up just a little bit. For the entire game, things have been going their way with Pitt not being able to move the ball. And all of a sudden they find themselves behind, and they have played it almost as conservatively as Pitt has. They've just been able to run the ball better than Pitt.
4 yards on the pickup from Henderson. Now Jim Miller, a freshman fullback, is in for the Vols. 6'4", 215. He's out of Nashville. I formation. Tennessee trailing 7-3. 7:22 left of the third quarter. On a slant play, Jimmy Miller, the fullback, just into the game, gets the call to the left side, where he runs into Brian Shields, backup linebacker, and left tackle Bob Bukowski. Shields, by the way, 6'1", 220, from Washington, Pennsylvania. He's a sophomore. Gain of 1 sets up a 2nd down and 9 for the Vols at their own 34. Clock winds to 6:56, third quarter. Cockrell surveys the Pitt defense. Decides to go with a play called in the huddle. Slip pass, immediate tackle by Troy Hill, and the gain will be out to the 30, we'll call it the 39-yard line, as McGee grabbed that quick toss out to the right side, but Hill was on him like a sidewinder missile. 5-yard pickup.
This is the play of the night for Tennessee. They've been doing this all night, and they're just hoping to march down the field and play it conservatively, but that's also a play that where you can, after you get that cornerback thinking about that play, give him a pump and go. We may see that yet.
3rd down 4 for the Vols. Straight back Cockrell. And there's another sidewinder missile. The pass for Randall Morris across the far side. He didn't hold on. Benson was there. The sidewinder missile was in the location. Well, they call it a complete pass. He held it, and it's going to be down at the spot, which is a loss of 2 at the 37-yard line. 4th down 6, and Jimmy Colquitt is on for the Volunteers to punt. Back deep to receive for the Panthers is Tom Flynn, standing at about his own 15-yard line. Joe Farmer is the long snapper. Tennessee out over the football as Colquitt, a 2-step kicker, just like his uncle Craig Colquitt of the Pittsburgh Steelers, awaits the snap. 5:36, third quarter. Pitt ahead 7-3. Big rush. Blocked. The punt is blocked, and the Panthers are going the other way, no matter what happens. Pitt has the football.
They also had 12 men on the field.
Okay.
The flag back here.
We have to wait and see what it costs him. It'll probably be a 1st down for the Vols, if indeed Pitt had 12 on the field. Yep, the way Tennessee is reacting, a big minus turns into a big plus.
Bill Wallace was trying to get off the field, and he was about 2 yards from the sideline when the ball was snapped. The official was watching, and he saw it. Tom Flynn was back there waving his arms around. He was waving to have somebody come in. And it looked like he was waving to the bench to bring another player in, and ended up that Wallace realized that there were 12 men on the field. He ran off, didn't get off in time.
The infraction, illegal substitution, and that will cost the Panthers, as you saw the call from referee Ray Bauer. 12 men on the field, that hurts the Panther cause. Tennessee's going to cross midfield here and have a first down at the Pitt 48-yard line. First and 10, Tennessee at the Pitt 48-yard line. And the Panther defense is out on the field once again.
And they've been on the field quite a bit here in this second half, and even though Pitt did score, they only had the ball for 39 seconds, so it wasn't like they gave the defense a break.
Ray Bauer calling his officiating crew together here to have a huddle. I don't know what this discussion will be. The ball has been marched to the Pitt 48-yard line from the 37 of Tennessee. No doubt that's a 15-yard penalty for illegal substitution. I believe the Panthers felt they only had 11 men on the field, but the way you called it, John, it seemed that Wallace had
I counted them. There were 12. I saw Tom Flynn waving to the sideline, so I counted them, and I knew there were 12 before the official called it. And I watched Wallace try to get off, and he didn't get off in time, and then I looked at the official and saw him throw it, so he was aware of it.
Pitt leads at 7-3, 5:27 left of the third quarter.
They had 10 men on the line, Bill, and 2 back.
We had a fast-moving first half, John, but now the second half has slowed down a bit. Tennessee dominating the first half. 10 first downs to none for the Panthers. The Panthers got their first down at 8:13 left of the third quarter. On the very next play, Collins, the recipient of a 56-yard bomb from Cummings. Pitt went on the board leading 7-3.
Possible that on that blocked punt, they had the block on. They had 10 men up on the line, no return, and there was supposed to be 1 man back, and Wallace maybe didn't hear the play called on the sideline, and he's not in on the return when they were going to rush 10 men, and was standing out there.
Ray Bauer talking to Johnny Majors, and I don't know what's going to come of this big discussion, but apparently there were second thoughts about the penalty. I did not see who got in to block the punt. We could not pick that up, and I'm sorry, but somebody got in there and definitely blocked it with 2 hands.
Well, that's the other thing to talk about, the fact that Tennessee's still having trouble with its punting game. They've been here with that big advantage in the punting game, and Colquitt has not punted all that well, and they have 1 blocked.
And the charge came from straight ahead. They said that Ray Weatherspoon was a guy who got in there and blocked that punt. Ray Weatherspoon, a very fine defensive back from Clairton, 5'11", 195 pounds, a senior. He's not only playing safety for the Panthers, either strong safety, he's also backing up both corners. Melvin Dean to the right, and on the left side, he's a backup to Troy Hill. Fine football player, a transfer from Penn State. In the meantime, we've got a discussion here. Bill Hillgrove along with John Steigerwald. Pitt leading 7-3. John Majors on your right, on your left, Ray Bauer of the Collegiate Major Football Independence Association. 3 of those officials are working tonight's ball game in a split crew situation with 3 Southeastern Conference officials. Let's see what Bauer goes around and has huddles with some of his fellow members on the officiating crew, and they'll remarch the penalty. It will be a 5-yard penalty instead of 15. Tennessee will still have the football, but they needed 6. So they have a 4th and 1. Instead of an automatic first down for the 12 men on the field, it is a 5-yard penalty, and the ball is marched instead of the Pitt 48. It is a 4th down and 1 at the Tennessee. They're calling it the 42-yard line. Well, see, that's a break for the Panthers. At least it appears to be one. Now let's see if Jimmy Colquitt comes up with something slick here, either in the way of a long bomb that goes out inside the coffin corner somewhere down inside the 10-yard line, or maybe Tennessee may elect to come up with a little trickery here, although I doubt it.
Actually, it still amounts to a break for Tennessee.
It's a break for the Pitt defense, though.
Yeah.
If Flynn can hold on and the Panthers can get the ball back. Farmer snaps it. Colquitt punts it, and it's a beauty. It's high, and it's deep. And Flynn fakes the catch, and it goes into the end zone. Touchback. The Panthers will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. That ball went 58 yards, but unfortunately for Tennessee, they couldn't get anybody down there to cover the ball. That's a classic example of out kicking your cover.
We've talked about how high our vantage point is here. We were looking at that ball right in the eye. That ball was up there.
1st and 10, the Panthers at their own 20. John Cummings, it appeared, was mired and couldn't get things moving. Then all of a sudden, Dwight Collins turned this football game around in favor of the Panthers for the moment. 5:18 left third quarter. Pitt ahead 7-3 with a 1st and 10 at its own 20. The give is to Marlon McIntyre, but the Tennessee defense is all over the place. Big Mac, the Panther fullback, gets maybe a yard, possibly a yard and a half behind the blocking of Bob Brown and Tony Brown off the right side. They call it a 2-yard gain. 2nd down, a long 8 for the Panthers at their own 22. And the clock winds down under 5 minutes. We're at 4:55 third quarter. Second down, 8. Single setback offense again for the Panthers. Cummings straight back. Safety valve. It's dropped. It's incomplete. Mark Bailey, the 5'11", 207-pound junior fullback from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, into the game for Pitt at fullback. Dale Jones, a left outside linebacker, was in the area, and it's probably just as well for Pitt that Bailey didn't hold on.
But he was open when he first swung out of the backfield. If Cummings had been able to hit him on the swing, by the time he threw it, Tennessee read the play and came up. 2 cornerbacks covered.
Middle guard Johnny Williams is out of the game for Tennessee, so they go to the nickel defense, an extra defensive back on the field. 3rd down, 8 for Pitt at the 22-yard line. Play action fake by Cummings. He's got time. Over the middle, the pass is complete to a sliding Bill Wallace at the 39-yard line. Wallace cutting across the middle. The young man from Flemington, New Jersey, a junior. In his first start as a collegiate, we have a marker down. Marker down.
This is a nice catch by Wallace, but it's just as nice a throw by Cummings, just dropping straight back and throwing the ball over the middle, and he got some good zip on it. We'll see what the flag is.
I'm guessing there may have been a late hit on Cummings. I don't know that for sure. Nope, they call a hold against Tennessee. Defensive holding is the call from Ray Bauer. On a 3rd and 8, the pass completed from the 22 out to the 39-yard line. Panthers will take the gain. Cummings to Wallace, and a 1st down and a gain of 17 yards. That's a big break for the Pitt defense. It's been real tired and on the field a long time tonight.
And the 2nd first down, right?
2nd first down for the Panthers in the football game. Correct you are, John. And it happens at 4:29 third quarter. Pitt ahead 7-3. Panthers, of course, decline the penalty and get the 17-yard gain and the 1st down. 1st down would have been automatic. Single setback offense again for the Panthers. And he gets it. Marlon McIntyre. Good block that time for Tony Brown. I'm sorry, Bob Brown out there, the right guard, because the Tennessee linebacker was hot in pursuit, and that was Alvin Tolles cutting in there, and Brown took care of him. Sims, the left cornerback, finally made the stop on the play, but the Panthers turned a potential loss into a gain on a fine block by Bob Brown, the sophomore right guard from Chelmsford, Massachusetts. The gain is from the Pitt 39 to the 45-yard line of 6. It's 2nd down 4. Misdirection play, but it's not going anywhere. Tennessee wasn't fooled. Dale Jones, the outside linebacker, left side, came in. Joe McCall can't go anywhere. 4 minutes left of the 3rd quarter. This will bring up a 3rd down and 4 for the Panthers. All at the 45-yard line in Pitt territory. Now they give McCall not 45, but they give him an advance of 3 yards on the play, so it's 3rd down and
about 6.
That sounds right. 6 yards to go. Fakes to McCall. Cummings out on the left flank. Hits his man beautifully at the Tennessee 45-yard line. And the man with the football coming out there off the left side is Clint Wilson, the tight end from Pahokee, Florida. The same hometown as former Panther defensive stalwart Ricky Jackson, who's now a star with the New Orleans Saints.
Cummings seems to be getting his confidence. He waited there, didn't rush it. He stopped and saw Wilson coming open and made sure he hit him right on the numbers, and he did.
Pass, Cummings to Wilson, picks up 7 yards and a first down. It's 1st and 10 Pitt at the Tennessee 45. 3:07 left in the third quarter. The tailback, he's not going anywhere. Joe McCall is hit hard by Dale Jones, only a freshman from Cleveland, Tennessee. And he got in there in a big hurry and just upset the apple cart for a loss of 2 yards.
This is a big hit by Dale Jones. Bill said only a freshman. Nice stop, and they do have a young defense, only 2 starters back from last year.
Tennessee going with Mark Hogan, young defensive back from Brashear High School in Pittsburgh. Youngster with good speed. He's a junior. He's into the lineup now. The Panthers play action fake. Nope, they give it to McCall, and he gets by 1 man, but the second man knocks him off his feet at the Tennessee 48-yard line. That's a loss of just about 1 yard on the play, so it'll be 3rd down and 13. Alvin Tolles, the junior from Forsyth, Georgia, was the man who got him at the 48-yard line of Tennessee. 3rd down and a bunch. 3rd and 13. Collins into the ball game for the Panthers along with Wallace. And let's see how they line them up. Collins is flanked to the right side. Split end left is Wallace. Split backs. Cummings gets the play to his tight end Wilson. 3rd and 13. Pitt ahead 7-3, 3rd quarter. Cummings in trouble. Spins out of there. Has a blocker. Down he goes. Tennessee defender got there, Dale Jones, and really put the hit on Cummings as he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Might have lost a half yard. It'll be 4th down. The Panther punt team is on the field. And
don't blame Cummings on this one. All the receivers were well covered. 3rd and 13. They were just sitting back there, and there was nothing open. He tried to make something out of it.
Tony Recchia into the ball game for Pitt as the punter with the line of scrimmage at Tennessee 48-yard line. Deep to receive is Tim McGee for the Volunteers. They trail at 7-3. Recchia, plenty of time to hit a boomer over McGee's head. That's going to go all the way to the end zone, almost on the fly. Tennessee will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20. As we grind it down to 1:07 left of the third quarter. The Volunteers trail the Panthers 7-3, and Alan Cockrell leads the Tennessee Vol offense onto the field. Panther defense. The tackles Moss and Bukowski. The ends Dolman and Wenglakowski. The middle guard Bob Shilkin. The linebackers Alderson and Benson. Tommy Flynn is the free safety. Bill Callahan the strong safety. The cornerbacks left side Troy Hill, right side Melvin Dean for the Panthers. Alan Cockrell brings it out of the huddle for the Volunteers at his own 20-yard line on 1st down. And Coleman has nowhere to go. Sounded like a whistle blew. Yes, there's a marker down. It sounded like a whistle blew before the play got underway.
Might have been a delay of game.
College football, you're permitted 25 seconds to get the play underway, but this time it's a procedure call, not a delay of game, which of course is the arms clasped together in front of the referee. Ray Bauer marks it back to the 15-yard line. 1st down and 15 for the Vols at their own 15. 1:03. Clock stops on a penalty and starts on a ready. Tennessee with twin receivers out to the left side. Taylor and Duncan. 1st and 15 from their own 15. Will they open it up right now? Backward. Short pocket pump. Tommy Flynn is back there. The receiver had his fingertips on the ball, but he would have been out of bounds. Tim McGee had to go across the boundary marker in front of the Vols bench in order to get under that pass. It was almost a great play because, John, as you pointed out a couple of times, if they can get the Panthers to bite up on that pump fake, Cockrell can get that good speed like a McGee around the cornerback and on his way down there, but I thought Flynn did a good job of center field.
That's exactly what it was. They gave him the pump. Cornerback stayed up. Let's go, but you could see Flynn playing center field there, stayed right on it.
2nd down, 15. 56 seconds left of the third quarter. Tennessee behind 7-3. Safety blitz, and Cockrell tries to dump it to Randall Morris, his fullback, and the Panthers had too much pressure. A lot of it came from the center of the line. Bill Moss was in that backfield, and also Alan Wenglakowski was back there, and it was real tough sledding for Cockrell. It'll set up 3rd down and 15 from his own 15-yard line. Now the Panther defense has begun to assert itself, and the Tennessee offense seems to be in some quicksand.
And they have all night long, we've been saying, trying that the swing passes, the quick drops. Now they've got a 3rd down and 15. Can't do a quick drop on this one. They look for him to throw over the middle here, deep.
They bring their tight end back in. Taylor to one side. Duncan split to the other. 3rd and 15. Shovel pass. Here they come with that play that worked in the first quarter. But this time it's diagnosed very well by Troy Benson. And the man with the football is tailback Chuck Coleman. He's upset shy of the 25-yard line. He needed 15. He got about 8. Shilkin and Aldershot were also there.
I guess you'd call this respect for the Pitt defense. It's still a lot of time left in this game, but it's not a play that you would think is going to break a big one. Not very often.
It was Caesar Aldershot making the big play, and Jimmy Colquitt is on to punt for Tennessee. The line of scrimmage, the Tennessee 23-yard line. 4th down and 7. Not a good one. Flynn's going to let it bounce. And he fair catches the bounce. I don't think he can do that, and a flag flies. So let's see what they call here as the marker flies, as Flynn gave the fair catch on the bounce. Now, I've heard of getting good hang time on punts, John, but getting hang time on a bounce, I'm not sure about.
You can't do that.
I don't think you can. It seems awfully strange. Let's see what the call is from Ray Bauer and his crew of officials here.
It's not a play you see all that often.
5 seconds left of the 3rd quarter. Pitt ahead 7-3.
Bill, the punt team had only one man back, and same play was on that when Pitt blocked it earlier, and they put a lot of pressure on Colquitt, and he got off a bad kick.
I believe the signal is illegal signal by the Pitt Panthers, and let's see what that cost them. I believe that's a 5-yard penalty. Ball is at the 30, and it'll be marched backwards on the Panthers, who lead at 7-3 as we get set to run the final play. Nope, that's a major penalty. That's going back 15. And I think that's got the Panther bench a bit upset.
The reason that it's got to be illegal is because you either have to catch the ball after it bounces or move out of the way. And by doing that, he deprived Tennessee of getting a good bounce on the punt.
And, of course, the crowd now gets very much into things. As they know, the burden has swung back to the Panther offense. Deep in their own territory, 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. The pitch to the left side. McIntyre around one man. Tries to go around 2, but a good gain from the 14 out to the 21-yard line. A pickup of 7 for Marlon McIntyre. The final play of the 3rd quarter. That's the end of the 3rd quarter of action here at Neyland Stadium with a score. Pitt 7, Tennessee 3. We'll be right back after this. $95,824, the second largest crowd in the history of Tennessee football, which makes it the second largest crowd in the history of Southern football. Panthers right now have a 7-3 lead, but they have their work cut out with a 2nd and 3 from their own 21-yard line. The Panthers looked like they were going to get decent field position, but then Pitt was hit for an illegal fair catch signal, which has them deep now in their own territory with a 2nd and 3 from their own 21 as we start the 4th quarter. Cummings hands it off. Bailey doesn't have much room. He is stacked up after a gain of about 1 yard. Mark Bailey runs into the Tennessee defensive charge. Alvin Tolles is some kind of defensive hitter. I mean, he's a fullback converted, but he's still playing fullback on defense.
He enjoys being the hitter a little bit more than the hitty, and he's done some hitting tonight.
It's a big 3rd and 2 call for the Panther offense. Cummings, the junior quarterback from Montclair, New Jersey, brings him out of the huddle. In the slot, Clark. Split right is Wallace. 3rd and 2 from the 22, and the give through the hole. Here comes a freight train. Marlon McIntyre with a 1st down and more. From his 22 out to the 40-yard line, an 18-yard gain for Big Mac. 6'1". They list him at 197. We know he's about 230, and he got through a big hole that time.
Off the left side.
Christie with a great block. Durundo, Sweeney, and Mac took care of the rest. Marlon McIntyre. Panthers line up. High slot right. Deep give. Sprint draw to the tailback, and he's not going anywhere as the Tennessee defense had it figured out. Joe McCall tried that sprint to the right and cut back to the left, but Alvin Tolles was there. Call it a half-yard gain. Statistically, it's a 1-yard gain. 2nd down, long 9. Pitt ahead 7-3, 13:44. The 4th quarter clock turns.
Haven't been too many times, obviously, when Pitt has gotten a good gain on 1st down.
Play action fake by Cummings, being chased. Throws a pass that is almost picked off. They say he picked it off. Charles Davis intercepted. I think the Panthers would argue that his lead foot came across the sideline, but Tennessee has the football at the Tennessee 41. And it's probably a ball that John Cummings regrets that he threw in the first place.
He said earlier on a pass that he took his time and stopped and threw. He might not have had a chance to do that here. And he just threw that one up off his back foot, leaning away from the receiver. It's a pass that shouldn't have been thrown, and it looks like a good catch. Here it is again.
The interception by Davis gives Tennessee the football at the Tennessee 41. Cockrell. Whirlybird option. Loose football. Coleman can't pick it up. It's still loose. Who has it? The answer is Pitt has the football. Recovering that fumble by Coleman is Bob Shook in the middle guard. And the Panthers get it right back. The Whirlybird option, pitch right. It was too far in front of Chuck Coleman. I would have to say there were two mistakes. The bad pitch in front of Coleman. Coleman didn't fall on the ball. He tried to pick it up in stride.
Hoping for a good bounce. That's not a play we've seen very often from Tennessee. Although Pitt knew that this was in their playbook. I don't know if he even had an opportunity to fall on that ball. It bounced in front of him and then went behind him. He kind of ran by it.
The Panthers have it, 1st and 10 at the Tennessee 38. Joe McCall finds it tough sledding. The entire center of that 3-4 Tennessee defense surrounded the football that time. Clock winds down to 13:09 fourth quarter. Pitt leads at 7-3. The Panthers trying to drive for more here. Now the Tennessee defense gets a challenge.
This is not the loudest crowd I've been around. It's the biggest. Florida State has it all over these people for making noise.
Bill Fralick is back at right tackle. He played the left side in the third quarter. McIntyre gets a good kick-out block, and he is wrestled to the ground at the 27-yard line across the way by Carl Zander, who appeared to get, I believe, his shoulder pads and wrestle him down. And he did at the 27-yard line. And the Panthers now appear to have a first down.
And here it is. Just a pitch to McIntyre. He's got that extra weight, a little bit of extra strength. Tries to fall forward. Talked about the crowd not being all that loud. It's a first down, by the way. Of course, the fact that it's 7-3 and there hasn't been a whole lot to jumping around and scream about has something to do with that. But there was a lot of concern on the part of the Pitt people that the crowd would be very much of a factor in this game and probably cause Cummings some problems. I don't think it's caused him any trouble at all.
Panthers have faced that adversity at Florida State a couple of times, but not so tonight at Tennessee. 1st and 10 at the 27. Bailey tries to find a hole. It closes quickly. Carl Zander, the linebacker, was there from his inside left linebacker position. Zander of the Vols. Mendham, New Jersey, his hometown, 6'2", 206. Really not real big people. Zander at 206, Tolles at 203. I believe that's a weight that perhaps I think is old, because I think Tolles is up a little bit. Anyhow, they have played an outstanding game for the Vols tonight. I thought I heard on the radio tonight that Tolles had increased his weight in off-season weight training program for Coach Johnny Majors. Line of scrimmage, a 25-yard line after a 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8. Panthers going with Bailey and McIntyre. Now we have a single setback. Pitt ahead, 7-3. McIntyre trying the short slide sweep, and he gets to about the 20-yard line, following the blocking of Mike Durundo on the left side. Joe McCall was out there leading the way. Zander and Scandrett made the stop for Tennessee. There's a marker down. And here comes a signal from referee Ray Bauer. Illegal motion against the Panthers.
We should point out while they're marching off this 5 that Tennessee has been picked preseason as the #1 team in the country by Sport Magazine.
They've been picked anywhere from #1 in the country to #7 in the Southeastern Conference. So as Coach Major says, somewhere in the middle lies the truth. He'd like it to be #1, but I think he thinks that the man who made that pick, Bino Cook, had somewhat of a tongue-in-cheek approach.
Well, he based it on a lot of it on scheduling. Tennessee has 7 home games, and their road games are not all that tough.
Motion penalty against Pitt. 2nd down and 13 now. Pitt at the Tennessee 30-yard line. Draw play. Up, they fake it. Cummings for the end zone. Wallace is there. Wallace battles a defender and loses as the ball is knocked down. Fine play in the end zone for Tennessee's Terry Brown, the freshman right quarterback. Billy Wallace had gotten open, but the ball hung up there such a long time that all Terry Brown had to do was battle Wallace for the right to knock it down, and apparently he was able to do that. Wallace couldn't hold it. Third down and 13.
Hung it up there just a little bit. He threw that ball over 50 yards in the air.
Tennessee expecting the pass from Cummings, goes to a nickel defense, 5 defensive backs. Middle guard Williams is out of it. Third and 13. Pitt at the Tennessee 30, 11:25 left. Pitt ahead 7-3. Cummings over the middle. The pass is through the hands of the intended receiver, Clint Wilson, the tight end. It'll bring up 4th down. Panther field goal unit comes on the field.
Now, we were watching Schubert in the warm-ups, and he was having no trouble kicking them over 50 yards in the warm-ups. Of course, warm-ups right here is a little bit different. It's really hard to read the wind. Right now, it looks like the wind is at his back. It's been shifting around quite a bit and going in about 8 different directions. But right now, I would say if he has any wind, it's at his back.
Conjemi, the holder. This will be a 47-yard attempt by Schubert. He kicks it long enough, strong enough, and it is good. 47-yard field goal by Eric Schubert, and the Panthers pad their lead to 10-3 over the Volunteers with 11:13 left of this contest at Neyland Stadium. Timeout of the action. The score: Pitt 10, Tennessee 3. Right back. "47-yard field goal by this man, Eric Schubert, puts the Panthers on top 10-3 with 11:13 left of the quarter. Here comes Schubert's kickoff. Morris is the deep man, but it's a short one at the 3-yard line. Morris, 5-10, 15 hold, 25, and he's outside the 30 and gives Tennessee pretty good field position before he's tackled downfield on that kickoff coverage unit by Tom Flynn. Morris took it at the 3 and returned it. They say the knee touched down at exactly the 30-yard line.
Tennessee's going to have to start showing a little bit of imagination here offensively. They have not done a lot of things differently. They've done a lot of repetition, little quick passes to the wideouts, and they got to start trying to throw into the middle and try to get something going.
Cockrell with a play action fake. Complete pass with the football. Randall Morris still on his feet, gets about a 6-yard gain out to the 36-yard line before Troy Benson made the tackle on the play. Panthers also using Dennis Attia as a middle guard. I think Bob Shilkin has really worked hard tonight. I think Coach Fazio did bring 70 players down here on this trip, knowing that in this heat and humidity, he'd have to keep some people fresh, which he's done very well tonight. Good play there and a good move by the tailback, the fullback Morris, who actually lines up as a tailback sometimes. 2nd down, 4. Good, quick hitter. And the ball is loose. Randall Morris fumbled it, and the ball is going to be given to the Panthers on the fumble recovery. Morris had the ball stripped on the quick hitter off the left side. He got the hole, looked like a big gainer, but somebody stripped him of the football. Morris through the hole.
I think he just lost it on his hip. I don't even know if anybody hit it.
Dolman, I think, got a hand on the ball, and I believe falling on it was Ray Weatherspoon. I believe that's who recovered the fumble for the Panthers. And Tennessee, with its 4th turnover of the night, gives the Panthers the ball right back. 10:22 left of the football game. Off the left side, nowhere to go. Dave Scandrick sealed it off for Marlon McIntyre and said, "Mac, you're not going this time." Ray Weatherspoon, transfer from Penn State, the hero of the previous play, falling on the fumble that I believe Chris Dolman, if he didn't have a hand in causing the fumble, certainly was in the right place there as the ball slipped loose. The Panthers surrounded it and picked it up. 2nd down for Pitt. 9 to go. At the Tennessee 47-yard line. Draw play. Off the left side. The Panthers run into middle guard Johnny Williams, and I believe Mike Durunda with a good block that time, but Mark Bailey did not have the kind of running room that he wanted.
Things are pretty quiet here, Bill.
Ball is advanced to the Tennessee 45 for 2. It's 3rd down and 7. Pitt with a 10-3 lead. 9:23 left of the 4th quarter of play. John Cummings, the junior quarterback, criminology major at Pitt. His dad's the sheriff of Essex County, New Jersey. Dump pass, McCall can't hold it. Incomplete pass. It's a forward pass. And it will bring up 4th down and 7. Crowd, I thought that time, thought it might be a lateral, but I think you could see the angle pretty well. McCall didn't try to hurry to get the loose ball on the carpet. And punter Tony Recchia is on for Pitt. Recchia has hit the ball very well just about every time tonight, including a 58-yarder that bounced for his career high.
He was upset the last time because he didn't get the ball out of bounds deep in Tennessee territory. He has another chance to do it again here.
Line of scrimmage at Tennessee 45. Pitt ahead 10-3. Tennessee charging, and Recchia barely gets it away. Angles it for the left corner, and it goes out of bounds in the Kaufman corner at the 2-yard line. What an effort from Tony Recchia.
He should be fairly happy with that one.
Mark Hogan pressured Recchia and almost blocked it again, but Rex puts it out of the Kaufman corner, and the Panthers have Tennessee backed up. Tennessee with a 1st and 10 at their own 2-yard line. Sam Henderson out of the power I gets it forward and gets some good yardage out across the 5 to the 7. He picks up 5. It's 2nd down 5. Tony Recchia put the Vols in this position with a 43-yard punt that went out of bounds left Kaufman corner as he looked at it on the 2-yard line. Second down 5. Tennessee at its own 7, trailing 10-3. Henderson has it all closed up this time, nowhere to go. And again, we'd like to apologize for the fact that we miss a play occasionally for the television timeouts, but a Southeastern Conference rule prohibits TV timeouts, and that's why we have trouble getting all the messages in for the sponsors who make this telecast possible.
There are some Pittsburgh groups down here, by the way, Bill. One of them is the 10th Street, Pittsburgh area. 10th Street Athletic Club from Charleroi came down. That sounds like an interesting group.
A couple of Golden Panther chapters here, including the Northeast chapter from the Scranton area. Pitt back to the right side, but markers are down. Morris doesn't get the opportunity to go anywhere. And a real Pitt football follower from Jeannette today was married. Mr. Ron D'Annunzio of Jeannette decided that he couldn't make the Tennessee trip because of a more important engagement. And we have a marker down against Tennessee. Apparently somebody lined up off sides.
So we were talking about Tony Recchia, and interesting that around the hotel today, people were talking about how Tennessee had such an advantage coming in with a kicking game, and someone, I won't mention who it was, with the Pitt party said, "There's a Tennessee has a great kicking game, and we have a punter who doesn't even have a scholarship." And there was Coach Fazio was quoted as saying this week he hadn't decided yet whether to give him a scholarship. This might get him one tonight.
I don't think, based on what he's done so far, but it's far from over. Cockrell in his own end zone. Good completion to his fullback, Sam Henderson. Head of steam, Henderson gets the first down to the 15-yard line. Ray Weatherspoon made the stop for Pitt, but the gain is for 11 yards and a Tennessee first down.
Now this is a big play for Tennessee. They are running out of time. 7.5 minutes to go. Same old stuff. Little rollout and a short pass. And that's about all they've been going with.
Panther is hurt at the 15-yard line, out of bounds on the near sideline. The injured player down is Melvin Dean, being attended to by Pitt head trainer Fran Feld and the Panther training corps. We have 7:31 left of the 4th quarter. The score, Pitt 10, Tennessee 3. We'll be right back. The injured Panther player is up on his own power and off the sideline. Melvin Dean, his place in the Panther lineup at cornerback, taken by Ray Weatherspoon. Bill Callahan returns to strong safety. Tennessee 1st and 10 at its own 15. Balls trail 10-3. Cockrell going deep. A man is open, and the pass is overthrown. Ray Weatherspoon trying to cover Tim McGee. Had trouble getting around an official down there at about the 44-yard line, but the Panthers, they just breathe a sigh of relief because the ball was overthrown and sets up 2nd down.
And look how far this pass is thrown. Cockrell lets it go at about his 5. And you'll see where it comes down. At the 40. It's not a bad throw.
Major leg arm, no doubt about it. Tennessee with a couple of changes. Coleman is back in as a tailback. Henderson is out. Duncan is in as a wide receiver, and so is Laren Brown, a very fleet-footed freshman. 2nd down 10, Tennessee trailing 10-3. 7:24 left 4th quarter. Tennessee at their own 15. That's a ghost pass. The receiver ran a post and should have done a hook to the sideline. Well, the receiver was Laren Brown, who's a freshman, and there was just a mix-up of communications there.
There's Johnny Majors, and the natives are going to be a little bit restless here if Tennessee doesn't win this game. As we told you earlier, Johnny Majors has only won one opener since he's been here. Bill Battle, who preceded Johnny Majors, had moving vans sent out to his house for records a lot better than what Majors has had, and they got to be getting less patient all the time.
Joe Moore, the Panther offensive assistant, with Andy Urbanek down on the sideline. Tennessee with a 3rd down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Cochran, Statue of Liberty. He's got some sideline, gets around one man, and puts his head down and tries to get more, gets 4 yards to the 19. Chuck Coleman runs into Tom Flynn with a sure tackle, and the Tennessee punt team will be back on the field. 7:02 left of the game. Tennessee trailing 10-3.
This play worked earlier in the game. It works somewhat here, but not enough, and it's going to cause a punt. Just a little Statue of Liberty. I believe it was Coleman who ran it the last time, too.
Joel Farmer out over the ball to snap it for Tennessee. Colquitt awaits the snap to punt it, and Flynn is deep for Pitt between the 30 and the 35-yard line. Colquitt, no pressure. Gets a good one away with the breeze. Flynn under it. Gets it at his own 37. Not much room. Tennessee coverage team is there. Pitt will start at its own 42-yard line. Pitt with excellent field position is at its own 42. Fullback Mark Bailey slanting to the left side. Panthers starting at their own 42, give it to Bailey, and leading at 10-3 on the scoreboard. Get out across the 45 to about the 47 for 5 yards. Johnny Williams, the middle guard for the Vols, making the stop. So the Panthers face a 2nd down 5 at the 42-yard line. Second largest crowd in the history of Tennessee football. 95,824. Watched a great first-half performance by the Tennessee defense. The Panther offense finally came around, and the Pitt defense has done a great job on Cockrell and company. Right now, Pitt has things going their way. Good hole on the left side for Joe McCall, who gets out across the 50 into the 45, gets the first down for the Panthers at the Tennessee 45-yard line. He carried that football 13 yards and got it into Tennessee territory to the 45.
We talked earlier about it being up to the Pitt offense to keep the Pitt defense off the field a little bit. It looks like now that Pitt might be wearing down the Tennessee defense a little bit.
Panthers this year will shuttle their plays more than you've seen in the past, and they wanted to do it with the tight ends, and then injury struck there. And so now they're shuttling plays tonight into the ballgame with their fullbacks, Bailey and McIntyre, at this point. Bailey's turn. Good spin. Picked up another yard and a half, but Mark Studaway finally put the wraps on him as Bailey bounced in there to about the 42-yard line for 3, setting up a 2nd down and 7. Clock winds down to 5:09 left of the 4th quarter. The Panthers on top, and right now things going their way. And I'm sure Foge Fazio would like to see a few more points up on the right side of this Neyland Stadium scoreboard. John Majors on the other side of the field, hoping his defense can hold here and get the ball back for Cockrell and company. Skirting left end, Marlon McIntyre, the Panthers' big fullback, runs into Dale Jones, a freshman outside linebacker, and inside linebacker Alvin Tolles, who made the stop, knocking him out of bounds. The Tennessee 38-yard line, 4-yard pickup, 3rd down and 3. Pitt at the Tennessee 38-yard line. Panther offensive line in the second half doing a much better job. Fralick is over on the right side trying to handle Reggie White, which apparently he's done a pretty good job of doing in the second half. 3rd and 3. Pitt at the Tennessee 38. Oh, they diagnose the fullback play, and they bring it down and stop it for no gain. Good play by the Tennessee defense. Alvin Tolles is Alvin on the spot right again for the Volunteers. Virtually no gain on the play. Might have lost about half the length of the football. 4th down, a long 3 for Pitt at the 38-yard line. And it's decision time for the Panthers. The Panthers are going to go for it.
They may try to pull him offside.
Cummings, long count. Tennessee jumps. Was there contact? There sure was. And it worked, John. Good call. I don't think Cummings had a play call. Needed 3. They get 5 in the first down.
Now that, if I know about that, or Don DeBlasio, one of our spotters sitting next to me, was also waving around thinking the same thing I was, why wasn't somebody down there thinking that? That's not the first time that's ever been done.
Tennessee is in a reckless mood tonight. Defensively, they've been all over the place, hitting everything that moves, and I think Pitt took advantage of it right there. Tennessee wanted to make that big 4th down play.
Give Coach Fazio some credit, too.
Yes, sir. Good coaching ploy, no doubt about it. Middle guard, Johnny Williams or Reggie White. One of those two people moved. I think it might have been White because it looked like the movement was on the left side. Gives the Panthers a 1st and 10 at the Tennessee 33. Cummings. Tailback McCall, nowhere to go. The Tennessee defense pinches down effectively. Loss on the play out to the 34-yard line.
Yardage is not all that important right now. It's time. It's 3.5 minutes and rolling. And a few more yards and they're in field goal position for Schubert.
Pitt has all 3 timeouts remaining here in the second half. Tennessee has 2 timeouts remaining. They're going to call the line of scrimmage at 34, but the ball right now favors the 35-yard line. But statistically, we'll call that a 1-yard loss. The 2nd down and 11. Center. Tony Magnelli out over the football. Jim Sweeney at right guard. And they try to go behind him, but there was movement on the Pitt side of the line of scrimmage, and this will be an infraction against the Panthers. And at the finish of that play, did you see what happened? Bill Fralick had pancaked Reggie White.
Well, that's something, 290 pounds.
Of course, when the whistle blows, I guess it's easy to get pancaked, but I was just calling it as I saw it that time. Ball is marched back to the 39-yard line. 2nd down is the play in the series.
Here's a look at Fralick. Right tackle. Look at this. He was the one who jumped.
Oh, that's why he got the pancake.
How'd you like to have him coming out at you like that? 290 pounds. He can bench press your house.
Down they went in a heap. 2nd down, and we'll call it about 16. Pitt at the 39-yard line of Tennessee. Cummings, draw play to McCall. McCall on his feet, gets good yardage back to the 30, a 9-yard pickup. To be 3rd down and about 7. Charles Davis, the freshman free safety for Tennessee, made the stop at the 30-yard line.
They're heading for the exits.
I just saw on the sideline an interesting thing. Darrell Clark running onto the field, tripped and fell for the Panthers, but he got right back up like he was in stride all the way. 3rd down and 7 for the Panthers at the Tennessee 30. 2:09. 4th quarter clock turns. Pitt ahead 10-3. Cummings. Backside pursuit. Front side pursuit. And Cummings is hit hard, and down he goes at the 29-yard line. 1-yard advance, and Tolles hits Cummings, and Cummings is hurt. Here comes the Panther training corps.
Here's a look at the hit. Not only the hit, but the fact that Cummings, earlier in the game, tried to force a ball. He could have tried to force this. He kept in mind that there's 2 minutes left and he has the lead. And he took a big hit. And he paid for keeping the ball, but it was the smart thing to do.
Chris Jellick is on the field for the Panthers, and the Panthers have the field goal team on. Now Kajemi will be in there to hold this.
Wind looks to be in his back.
Eric Schubert effort. And it'll be angle right to left. A 46-yard field goal attempt. Kajemi to hold, Schubert to try it. Schubert earlier hit a 47-yard effort.
He's got a little bit of a crosswind to deal with here.
Ball is up. Plenty of leg. And it is good. Eric Schubert, 2nd field goal of the game. He's a happy young man. And the Panthers extend the lead to 13-3 with 1:32 left. And now it's up to the Vols to come up with a miracle. Pitt leads it 13-3. There's a timeout of the action. We'll be right back. This could be a big win for Coach Fazio. And will be. Cockrell being harassed by Dolman. Down he goes with Weng-Likowski. Another sack back to the Tennessee 38-yard line.
Got to feel sorry for Johnny Majors. A lot of expectations for this team this year. And he's lost his opener again.
The Pitt Panthers are victorious, and it's a big win for Foge Fazio and his coaching staff. Despite having a nightmare of a first half where there no first downs were recorded, they were patient. They got John Cummings unloosed. They got him unhitched. Dwight Collins had a lot to say about that, but Pitt also won the kicking game tonight, and I think that was a big factor for the Panthers. One of the reasons they won. John Steigerwald, thank you very much. That's the end of the game. The final score, Pitt 13, Tennessee 3.